Have you ever picked up a book series and thought, you know what? The entire thing is probably a banger, so I'm going to get it. No, just me? Okay, come on. I do that. Apparently, quite a bit than I realized. I have bought series blind. No idea if I'm gonna like the series, basically only a sort of small amount of information on what the series is about, but I buy the whole thing. Sometimes it is cheaper to get the box set. And so I've done that a couple of times. Let's talk about which ones they were. Some of them I have read since, and some of them I still have not even picked up yet at all. We'll get there. Here we go. So, first of all, not on the list from the blog post, but I will add this to the list. And it's this one. It's actually this one right here, the Gallagher Girls series. Now, I forgot to add this into this blog post, so you're welcome. You get some extra bonus content. So the Gallagher Girls series I found at like a warehouse. I don't care. It's in New Zealand, the warehouse. And so basically they were there and I thought, that sounds so interesting. And they had all of the books present and they were very cheap and my mum bought it for me. And of course, because we were visiting New Zealand, I had to bring it all back. So that was very heavy, but doesn't matter. Worth it because it is one of my favorite series. Didn't know what to expect, whether it would be good or not, but thought it was worth the risk. And I was right. It is basically the story of like a spy school for girls. So much fun. Love Ali Carter. Great. Worth it. Worth every penny. I think they were like $5 a book because it was from the warehouse, so it was cheap. The next one that I did was Legend by Marie Lu. I heard about Legend. I thought it sounded really interesting. Again, the box set was just easier and cheaper to get. So that's what I did. I bought the box set. Loved that series. Absolutely adore that series so very much. I had fun. Worth it. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now this one, technically I bought the whole thing blind, but I was in the middle of reading Red Queen when I bought the whole thing. And I really did enjoy Red Queen a lot. It was my favorite out of all of them. It started to get darker as the series went along, but I have read the whole thing now, which is really great. Managed to finish that series, which is fantastic. I will probably do a video about that because it is part of the finally finishing series that I took forever to get through, but it took a very long time, but I did buy that blind and you know I did like it. It's a bit dark and as we kept going it got a bit darker and a bit much, but it was still pretty good. The next one is Matched by Ali Condi. I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your name. It's literally this one right here. Ta-da! And so Matched, I sort of read a couple of chapters of in my library and then thought, boy, this sounds really good. And I just got the box set. I should have just read it from the library, but I didn't because, you know, impulse control. So there's that one I'm very excited for. It is a dystopian, sort of futuristic dystopian situation where everybody is assigned their husband, wife at, you know, by the government, and they are assigned supposedly to people they think that you'll get along really well with, and it'll be a peaceful relationship so that the community can have peace, etc. But I believe there are some sort of conspiracies thrown in there somewhere. Anyway, so that'll be fun. The next one is Swipe by Evan Angler. It's up there. This is a Armageddon type situation, like a Book of Revelation type situation, Left Behind type of a story, but for teenagers. And I have not read a single one of these, but they sounded so interesting and I just was in, and so I bought all of them. I have them all and I still haven't read a single one. So that's nice. The next one is Divergent by Veronica Roth. That is right over here. Ta-da! And so I had seen the movies and I thought, boy, what interesting. I would love to, you know, read the books, and I actually enjoyed the books more than the films. If you don't remember what Divergent is about, essentially it is dystopian. Everyone is split into different factions, different groups, and you get a chance to either go to the faction that you want or that you feel like is yours, but then if you changed for your family, you never see them again. Factions are, you know, more important than family, which is ridiculous. And then there are these secret people who don't fit under one specific category. They actually fit under multiple, and, you know, our main character, Tris, is one of those people, and so it's sort of they're being hunted and not encouraged. So it's sort of like that discovery and that sort of situation. Really, I really enjoyed it actually. Getting Triss's POV mindset was actually way more impactful than the movies. So that was great. The next one is Firebird by Claudia Gray. So this is a series that I randomly found at a secondhand store. And so I have zero context, but I bought all three, because look, there they are, they're the white ones right there. And I have almost zero context except for the back of the books to decipher what that is about. And I haven't read it yet, but I am maybe going to do a reading vlog, because I think it could be fun to read these and see what they're about in one big go, but we'll see how we go. Essentially, again, like dystopian fantasy sort of a story. They're going into multiple, I believe they go into multiple realities or something. Dimension hopping. Okay, and the last one, I can't say much about that because I don't really know much about it. The last one is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I have read all of these ones. They are so much fun. They are a superhero trilogy series, and I had so much fun with that. So essentially, some of the superheroes are really mean or really just overuse their authority, and then there are the bad guys who also have powers who come after the superheroes, and you sort of have this girl who goes into the middle of both. So she's sort of raised by the baddies but then tries to infiltrate the goodies and find this balance in the world with people who have powers who, you know, believe it should be this way versus this way. And it was really very fun, very interesting YA series. So I really enjoyed that, and that was worth buying blind because, man, it was a good time. Cool bananas. Well, those are the ones that I have that I've talked about. I believe there are more, technically, in my bookshelf where I've like bought the whole thing blind. I think this one actually, the Out of Time series by Nadine Brandes, I did that as well with that one, where essentially everyone's given a date, an exact time when you are supposed to like die, and you get sent over, you know, through this big fence, like not like a fence, like a big wall situation, and essentially, you know, everyone is just like, well, when you go over that thing, you die, you basically die. But it turns out that actually you have to, it's like a big cliff. And so we have this series of like this girl who is technically getting away with not having a death date because she had a twin and they didn't report that. And so only one twin gets a, anyway. And so it's complicated, but I did technically buy that as well blind. It's very difficult to find those books. So even though the first book I was not a huge fan of, I've kept them and I still haven't read the next two, but that also technically, so I think there's some other ones that I bought blind, like C.S. Lewis, his space trilogy. I bought that blind because it's in a big book together. You know what I mean? Like I like C.S. Lewis, and so I was assuming that I would like that too. It's written in like Old English language, which is very difficult to get through, but it has been quite interesting. I've only read the first one, which is Out of the Silent Planet. So there are other series that I randomly buy blind. Look, this one right here. Again, like this series is like an end of the world type of an Armageddon-y type series that just, you know, is the end of technology, just decides to stop working. Anyway, so I do buy series blind sometimes, and sometimes they win and sometimes they don't, but you know, we'll see how those other ones go that I mentioned, and yeah, I don't know, we'll see how we go. Hopefully they'll be good and they'll be worth it. The ones I've already read have been very clearly because I had so much fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the adventures.